Okay, so the question here is how to find the maximum, minimum, and period for a sine equation. And the way you find the maximum and minimum values is you take this number at the end that's not included in the sine, which is the vertical shift, and then you add and subtract the amplitude of the sine wave. So in this case, the maximum value is equal to 3, and we add 2 because the sign is both positive and negative at different times, so we take the absolute value of the number in front of the sign. So we add 2, and we get 5. And the minimum is about the same calculation as the maximum, but instead of adding, we subtract. So it's 3 minus 2 equals 1. So next up, we're going to find the period. So this number, 1/2, is the important number for the period. It's the number that's multiplied by the variable inside the sine function. And this number, the 90, is not important for the period, but it does tell us about the shift of the function. So in this case, since it is 90 and not pi over 4, I'm assuming we're using degrees. And we can write out that the period equals 360 degrees for the full circle times the number that multiplies x, in this case 1/2, which is 180 degrees. So what I did there is I took the quantity 1/2 x and I plugged in 360 for x. And if I was doing this in radians, I would plug in 2 pi instead. So that's the answer to your question. The maximum is the vertical shift plus the absolute value of the amplitude. The minimum is the vertical shift minus the absolute value of the amplitude. And the period is whatever number times x, and substitute 360 if you're using degrees for x, or substitute 2 pi if you're using radians.